Hi everyone, it's Kelsey
and Christy.
and today Christy's going to show us how to create your own gourd leaf cutouts. So we have an example here of maple leaves, and then we have another example here of this cute little turkey gourd. Those actually are oak leaves that are his feathers. They're not feathers. So Christy's going to show us just how you create your own cutout from a gourd and including how to stain it.
So let's get started. Like Kelsey previously mentioned, today I'm going to show you how to create a leaf cutout. And for that, you're going to need a gourd practice piece. This one hasn't been cleaned, and the easiest way I find to clean these is actually using the micro cleaner ball. This is the mini micro cleaner ball. You could use either the 1-inch or the 1/2 inch. And I'm going to be using the Gourd Master Pro Carver. So I'm just going to insert my cleaner ball in there. But before I get started, I do want to wear safety glasses. And normally if I was at home, I would also be using a face mask. But I want you guys to hear me, so today I'm not going to be using one, but I do recommend that you use it at home. I do want to mention that when you're using the micro cleaner balls, you have to use them at a low speed, because if you use them at a high speed, it can bend the shaft. So the moment you start feeling that the cleaner ball starts vibrating, make sure you lower the speed. So just to be on the safe side, I always start off, of course, with my Pro Carver off, and then I just go up on the speed by low, and then that's how I determine the speed that I want to use. So I'm just going to turn it on. And right now I have it in between low and medium, so again at a very low speed. And you're just gonna go ahead and use the side of the ball, and you see how I'm just scraping it. And these micro cleaner balls are great. They're really nice even when you're cleaning like the rim of a gourd or something like that. It gets the work done really fast. So I'm not going to do this whole piece. I do have one that's already cleaned. Let me just clean this out. Okay, now I have a gourd piece that's already cleaned. And you can see that this piece is actually thinner than this piece I have here. This one's actually thicker. Now, if you're using a thick piece, it's a little bit harder to cut out your design. So I always recommend that you thin out your gourd piece by using a structure tooth carbide burr. This is the dovetail, but you can use any shape that you're comfortable with. When using this one though, I do use it facing down, and I just, like I was doing with the micro cleaner ball, I'm just like scraping it. So you just have to be careful. You're scraping it back and forth until you start thinning out the gourd piece. But again, that's only if you have a very thick gourd piece and you're having trouble cutting out your design. Now this one, like I said, it's more on the thinner side. So this is the one I'm going to be using today. So here I have a stick and burn from the Leaves pack, and I'm just going to go ahead and peel it off and stick it on my gourd. So I'm just going to smooth it out, and now I want to wood burn my design. So what stick and burn is a design transfer sheet. That you use as a template so you can wood burn your design. So I'm going to start at a lower temperature, around a 5, and I'm just going to go ahead and wood burn right through my design. And I'm just going to adjust the temperature because I noticed that it wasn't really burning. So I'm using a spear shape wood burning pen, but you can use any blade style pen that cuts through the surface of the gourd to transfer your design. I personally like the blade because of the shape. I feel I can really get into those curves. and it's just easier for me to make those straight lines. Okay, once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and peel off my stick and burn. And now I have my design transferred onto my gourd. And if I want to go back and clean up my lines, I can still do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and re-burn my lines so they're more defined. Okay. So now that I cleaned up my lines, I'm ready to color. So I'm going to use Formula 49. Formula 49 helps condition the gourd shell, but it also helps to remove some of that leftover residue you can get from stick and burn. So I'm just applying it with a cotton round, and I'm going to go ahead and heat set it. Okay. So now I'm going to be using classic yellow ink dye. I'm just going to pour a puddle. And deep orange. So when coloring, you always want to start off with the lightest colors first, like on this leaf. So I want to start with my yellow. And the reason is because if I start with a dark color, it can just take over the whole leaf. And I do want some yellow to show off. So I'm applying the classic yellow on the center of my leaf. Okay. Once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and use the deep orange on the outside of the leaf. Now, since I haven't cut out my leaf, I can actually go outside my lines since you're not going to be able to see that. So I can be a little messy if I wanted to. Okay, once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and drag the orange into the yellow. Just a tiny bit, not too much. And I'm using a cotton swab. Okay, once that's done, I'm going to grab the yellow and drag it into the orange. And I'm smoothing it out to remove any hard lines. Okay, now that that's done, I'm just going to grab a new cotton swab and I'm just going to dab away some excess and smooth out the color. Now, when you're blending colors, you do need to know that they need to be wet in order for them to blend. So just make sure that when you're blending, you don't heat set your colors. You just do it all in one step. So I always like to do one leaf at a time if I was doing a project that has multiple leaves, like on the sample that I have here. Okay, once you're satisfied with your leaf, you're going to go ahead and heat set it. Now, you know that your color is dry because it turns matte. It loses its shine. So that's how I know it's finally dry. But once I seal my color, you're going to see those vibrant colors come right back. Okay, so once it's done, I do want to go ahead and seal it with a varnish. And now that it's sealed, you can see the rich colors turn vibrant again. So now we're ready to cut out the design. And for that, I'm going to be using the fili-point burr with the Gourd Master Pro Carver. And I'm going to go ahead, and again, you want to wear your safety glasses and a face mask. But again, I'm not using one. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my machine and go all the way up to high. So when I'm cutting my leaf, I want to start in by going in, I'm drilling in. And when you're doing cutouts or when you're using the fili-point, you want to make sure that you're using the first half of the tip. You have more control of the fili-point burr and you avoid it from actually bouncing. So I'm going to go up again, go back into my hole. And you just want to, like again, I'm using the tip and I'm just going to go down and drag it into the leaf. As I get closer to the curve, I do like to use just the tip part of it so it doesn't get too much of the meat of the gourd. See how I'm just bringing it up as I'm going in. But when you're cutting, you do want to make sure, and you can feel it, that you're actually piercing all the way through. So I'm not etching it, it's pierced all the way through. And you can see I'm just going back into my cut and I'm just dragging my burr. So now I'm going to go in with the tip. And now I just want to connect it, and then it just comes right off. So now that it's off, I want to go back in and clean up my lines, like right here. I see a little piece of gourd, and I just want to clean up and remove any of my wood burn lines that I had there. You see how I have some wood burn line, like I have the wood burn line right there? I just want to clean that up. And I just use the side of the burr. And that's what's so nice about the fili-point burr, is that when you're actually doing your cutout, it does leave it pretty nice and smooth. Okay, and now that I've done my oak leaf cutout, I can now use it as an embellishment or a little charm to just enhance an art piece that I already have. Like this art piece here is by Laura Wilburn. And we thought it was the perfect art piece because it was so pretty with the pine needles that we could just add a little leaf cutout to give it a little extra. And that's the reason I did that color too, is because it goes with the rest of the leaves that she made. And that's how you do a leaf cutout.